Alright, let's get into this. See what this game's all about. New game.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover
Sorry about the echo.
plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, most humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Bernardo had promised his mother he'd protect him. The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Bernardo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Bernardo had to run after him.
No jump button so far. I like the graphics so far.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. "Hey," Bernardo said. They cocked their heads at him. "Pick on someone as ugly as you." Wait, that didn't come out right. "For the Emperor!" The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
So far, so good.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Nice.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels. Or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere. And neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renato going to get a hero sword? And wind essence? That sounds about right. I'll need a workshop, though.
It's supposed to be a workshop. Sword crafting. This is the sword crafting menu. You can craft and upgrade powerful magic swords. Gather required materials from the chests scattered throughout border areas. Selected sword is a current level and special power. The selected sword's power at the next level. The resources needed to upgrade the sword. Okay, sounds pretty simple.
Hero sword. QED.
Wind essence. Water, fire. Wind, water, fire. Okay. Guess I can't go to gems for now. See if I can. Nope, still won't let me. Okay. Guessing that's later on in the game.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renato's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. "How'd you get across?" he asked the kid. "Where'd you find a hook?" "I hopped," said the kid. Wise-ass kid. "Hey, look out behind you!" "Q," said Renato. Oh, ravens. It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Maybe. Skills. Each time you gain a level, you also gain a skill point to spend. Your skill points at the altar scattered throughout Boreas. I don't know how to say that. Gain new powerful abilities or upgrade existing ones. Okay. There are 4 tiers of skills. The more truth you discover, the more tiers you unlock. Skill info. Here you can find the description of each skill and unlock requirements. You have 1 skill point to spend. Go and buy the hook shot skill. Okie dokie.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot.
Press triangle to
how
hook
to freeze
posts.
time when attacking. The more he fought,
Or to pull enemies towards you. Nice. Liking this already.
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Well, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off. "No! Peter!" But the kid ran for it, and a goggler nailed him with its ivy. book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes, and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Renato picked up the book.
Well, the kid could have just listened. Yeah, imagine that.
He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Besides, should be time for an adventure. Ooh, crates. Whatever that is.
Big deal about this book anyway. Maybe he should open it and find out.
I didn't let me get it.
All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. Where are you running, rebel? Cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. Just going out for milk? Renato yelled.
That was a PlayStation trophy.
Where can you run?
Gotten 2 already out of this game.
Horribly. Far behind.
So far, so good, man. This game's fun.
Burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life! It cawed. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Renato could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could only rescue him. Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time
feel
to
a decision
choose.
coming up.
Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
What should I choose? His friend's idea or build the Sky Ripper? Friend's idea or Sky Ripper? If anyone's out there, feel free to choose for me. I'll give you a few minutes to say something if somebody's there. Jeez, I don't know. Suppose I'd almost have to do 2 playthroughs of this. Which might not be bad if the game's actually pretty good. So far, so good. Well, Alright. Alright, we'll do this one first then. Because no one's interacting. So, let's try make the new old friends.
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse.
This is actually kind of cool because this is going to make the game have a lot of replay. So, this will be good. choices.
had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the ravens? If I craft a sword now, it's going to be really short.
Gem socketing. Gem socketing menu here, you can equip powerful gems that will augment both your offensive and defensive capabilities. Your gauntlet has 3 sockets into which you can put gems. Socket one of these sockets to see your gems. Attack speed. Each gem has 3 levels, and if its effects increase with each level, picking up a gem you already have will automatically upgrade the gem's level. You can find gems in the chest scattered throughout Boreas if you're lucky enough. Don't look like I found anything. Okie dokie. It looks like I'm stuck with the same sword that I had just a minute ago. Oh, here's a chest. Let me guess, it is a gem in it.
You should take one home, he thought.
Let's see if I can do anything now. No. Maybe those gems? Nope. Alrighty. Damn, this is a good game so far.
Renato wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges and stairs. The ravens had taken the town. Renato had seen villages emptied like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding. Renato's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
So, he smashed some boxes. Aha. Need a fire sword for that, I imagine. Let me see. Okay, there's nothing there. Maybe I just switch them at those things. Alter. Dash. Oh. I have no skill points. So that is a no-go for right now. Let's go back here real quick, see if there's anything I could do back here. Ooh, a chest. I think I came back.
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renato. No?
Get over here! Come here! Combat's pretty fluid. Nice and reactive. I like it.
Ravens were landing everywhere.
Nice.
The advance guard. Keep
Level
that
up.
moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
Can't fall off the ledges, so yeah. Treasure. Ooh, fire essence.
Renato felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that. It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot.
And X to
like
dash.
how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Cool. Sweet, man. Almost like Batman style fighting on here. Sweet, man.
Already Renato knew more than he ever had. But about what?
Yeah, I love the combat in this. Really easy to get used to. Already a level up. Combo. Stats increase maximum health. Run faster.
He missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like it was at a reunion.
Sweet, man. Longsword.
This could be the new aerobics craze. Am I right? Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole way right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer, and oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Oh, let's just keep going to the first
Zenobia
path.
wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's best friend in Sword Fu School. And you're still mad for her. The rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was. She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the Master Spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. Once, Renato had opened a chest, and a jack-in-the-box jumped out. Jack-in-the-boxes, they gave him the Wiggins.
I got a fight here.
Hero wall, hero sword, ice wall, ice fusion. Who are you looking at? Oh, right. No one.
Groovy. Slip, slip. I have a feeling there's a fight coming.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lapino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lapino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato. Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lapino. as he ran to go set up his marvelous
Let him have his fun this time. Do I have any gems yet? No gems. Ooh, almost got enough for that. Not quite yet, though. No skill points.
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Pino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat. "Renato," she said, "are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Oh, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two," said Latino. But the fleet was coming on fast, so they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east over the Nexus. She'd vanished from swordfu school, from his life, without even saying goodbye, without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Ah, Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. "You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you?" she said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land at their feet. "Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost," yelled Lapino. "You have to catch her."
What's this game called again?
Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase.
Alrighty. Let's back here for a second. Nothing.
These platforms are great. Renato wanted one for his house. found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
See what's down there at the other side here really quick. I was hating
Who needed bridges anyway?
Yeah. Okay, it looks like I'm stuck on this right now. Avoid the Warlock's fire spell. Will damage everyone in the area once it explodes. Got him.
If he ever had a castle, he was going to hide his stuff better. He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his. Crafting bench. Renato wondered what he could make with it.
Do the fire are. R2 to activate magic sword. Swords consume energy. Sweet. Okay.
Renato reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. I'm enjoying this a little too much. She said, shaken. Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you? Said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Renato about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her? From the Nexus, Renato could see the fear in Zenobia's eyes. I can't take her to those creatures at the base, he whispered to Lapino. Ah, you've gone soft. Soft in the head. We captured her for what she was. I'll take her to the mountains. Tell all the horrible things the Emperor's done. Yeah, believe me, she'll turn. And he turned the wheel. The hell you will, shouted Lapino, and he grabbed the wheel back from him. The two of them wrestled for control of the ship. It shot off like a mad sparrow. Suddenly, Renato was falling.
Uh-oh.
When he came to, Zenobia was standing over him. Why didn't you take me to the base to be interrogated? She demanded. Do you know what's left of people they interrogate? This is some trick, isn't it? To make me fall for you again. Well, I won't. Oh, go on then. Scurry back to your ravens. I can't stop you. But strangely, she didn't. As Renato set off to find the Farfarer, she followed him, keeping just out of sight of the ravens. He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things. Smell any better dead, Renato thought.
Oh, of course.
Imagine getting a horse up in one of these things. He would be cursing a blue streak. Towards the lead, Raven. As Renato stopped to sniff the wind, Zenobia came up, still mad. Did you really think you'd just talk me into betraying my father? Oh yeah, sure, that was exactly my plan. Then why aren't you even talking to me? Because I've never talked you into anything in my life. They're gonna court-martial you for letting me go. He caught a whiff of the Farfarer. Wet rope, tar, and a cask of Scoble ale he'd spilt last year. It was that way.
See if I can go back. No. Damn it.
Renato's paws were getting numb. Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? Renato wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicion. That was always a rush. Sure enough, the Farfarer had crashed in some rocks. There was no sign of Lupino. Zenobia caught up. All that kid stuff in Swordfu School. Look, look, that's the past. We're adults now. We have duties to other people. We have destinies. What are you talking about? And you are the most arrogant, slow-witted, light-fingered, mercenary, immoral, reckless. Run away with me, said Renato, and he realized he meant it. Just like that, she demanded. I will, if you will. So she kissed him. And it was the best kiss he'd ever had. They held hands as they boarded the Farfarer. Renato felt light-hearted, like the winds that were playing the rigging like a balalaika. But Lupino, I need to get back to Lupino, he said, suddenly realizing he could have been captured. A prisoner. He's not. How'd you know? He saw something in her eyes he didn't understand. He fell, didn't he? Into the abyss. She looked away, wouldn't answer. But then a bolt smashed through the Farfarer's keel. The broken ship plummeted out of the clouds. Renato picked himself off the deck. They were alive. We have to get to my private ship, she said. Do you trust me? I guess I must, he said. You go on ahead. Clear the path, he said. I can't kill my own soldiers. He wanted to say that he didn't trust her, that he had no idea what he was getting into. But he had no choice, did he? He was following his heart. That's what it means to be a hero. You had to follow your heart.
I figured as much.
He was more and more extraordinary. Where did that go to?
The combat in this game, I love it. It's very good.
It wasn't his fault. They looked so breakable. There was an engraving. Maximum capacity, 130 people. better. Remembering all his old tricks, and some new ones. Now, he really ought to ask for a raise. They paused to catch their breath. It was strange to be so close to her. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "I'm trying very hard not to think." "Me too," he said. Up ahead, he could see the thin silver of Zenobia's personal ship. It looked fast. They would leave all this behind. What were these poles, exactly? Party meters from the time of the Lost God?
You need help?
No skateboard, the sign said. As they reached her ship, Renato suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. He was surprised to see a crossbow bolt sticking out of it.
I was gonna lead the Empire to our secret base, said Lapino. But no, you had to screw up my plan because you still got a thing for her.
Renato stared at Zenobia. The kiss. Was it real? She said. A look of indescribable sorrow. She gestured and said an arcane word, and Lapino went flying into the abyss, screaming, "I'm telling your father!" Then she knelt down to cradle his head, and her paws felt very soft and warm. Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. Lapino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the Mad Rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness. He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene ritual. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Oh, man. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do this one again just to get some stuff that I missed the first time.
Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own.
Nice.
Lapino always wiggled
replay
out
old
of
levels.
trouble
That's kind
given
of cool.
time. But he was out of time. Lapino's frantic message said that the Ravens were going to kill him for being a rebel spy. And that he had a clever plan. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Or so Lapino had told him over the far speaker anyway.
Very cool.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? Not quite enough, thought Renato.
Ooh, I like that.
His trusty old sword was always a little better when he sharpened it.
Nice.
That was odd. Renato had been here, at this exact place, at this exact time. But this time, there were so many more ravens. Renato looked around the empty village. How could he ever imagine Lupino was anything but a traitor? Any honest rabbit would have fled with the villagers. It was good to practice your moves, thought Renato. Keeps you limber.
Truth was, Renato really liked the sound his sword made in the air.
Oh, I got a bunch of chests now. Ah, 3 points. What's a stash? Through enemies. Ooh, nice. definitely
better
buying that one.
and better.
Hey, what's up, underwater camper? Or unwanted camper? Impale your enemy on your sword when you grab him to cause damage. I don't know about that one just yet. Slow down time after successful counter. Combo. Let's go with more damage. More damage is always good. Yeah, this game is pretty sweet. Free game on the PSN. So far, I can't complain. I can't complain at all. Combat is a lot like a lot of the Batman games. And has a lot of upgrades that you can do. So that's cool too.
Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough.
I'm gonna go check out some other stuff. This is actually my second time going through this part of the board. It's like you can repeat stuff and do stuff a second time. It's kind of strange, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
Kill the rebel! Caught one, Raven. Eat the rebel! Caught another.
Handy. Ooh, what's this? Oh, wow. Ooh, and a gem. Nice. Glad I went back here. Nice. You'd have like 4 different level swords. You can power them up with gems. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm loving this game so far. I really, really am loving this game. See what gem I got. Nice. Socket of gem. Treasure hunter. Increase chance to loot by 1. Nice. Better than a kick in the teeth. Alright.
What's there?
So I'm guessing I have to make it through. Fast enough. There we go. And more gems. Haha, yeah. Gotta love that. Attack speed gem. Sweet. And I will install that one. Yes, why not? This is sweet, man. skills just yet. Jump down. Okay, I'll do that in a minute.
Renato checked to make sure his sword was still working. Yep.
It's all narrated. Ooh, missiles. Glad I came back. I think the only place left to go is down that hall. So check out this upgrade station, see if we can upgrade one of the swords yet. Not quite that one. Let me see. Max level. Almost can get the water one. Right. Not quite yet, I guess. Okay. Let's find this hole. Jump down. Whee! Come again.
Landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast.
Oh no.
A snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Well, unless he really was a traitor, obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest. Lupino would betray him. But now Renato knew that. What would Lupino do if he knew that Lupino was going to betray him? Well, he'd concoct some crazy scheme, wouldn't he? That used Lupino's betrayal against him and it would blow up his face. Maybe he was overthinking this. Well, that would be a first. Smashing things was fun.
Hey, traitor.
Dirty and bloody. Now reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Bernardo recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The Ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer, and his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
We'll go with the first one again just because there's a lot of stuff that I haven't got there too.
Daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's
I think I'm going to be playing through this quite a bit.
And you're still mad for her.
I'm loving it.
The rabbit reminded him. They'd been close.
No use in hearing the same story twice, right?
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. There were a lot of shiny, smooth, curved with leather, buckles, and kind of smelled... You know what? Never mind. Yes, there was also ore and other useful stuff. Let's focus on that, shall we? Renato wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
I didn't think I went this way last time.
Ready to blossom within him, or something. Pretty close. How could you convince a firewall you're its friend?
Elemental resistance.
I hope his mother wasn't watching.
Why not? missed something. Got that feeling. Oh, I can't go back that way anyway. Okay, that solves that.
Why was Lupino urging him to capture Zenobia? Obviously, it was a trap. But you never knew how Lupino thought. Sometimes his plans were so convoluted they did the exact opposite to what Lupino wanted. Yeah, there must be some way to play on that, Renato thought. Hey, how do you tell if someone's far away or just really small?
Really?
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renardo. Go ahead. I'm sure you know better, said Lupino.
Oh, I do. Okay. This it automatically levels it up. Hold on a minute. Might as well check the size one, right? Still a little shy.
Renato felt restless. Maybe he could focus all that energy into something useful. Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She became smoke. And he noticed he had a blade to his throat. Stay a while. Heard a familiar voice. Did you really think you could capture me? Zenobia said as her ship lifted off. Now I just wanted some privacy. Renato said, did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? And he told her why. His Imperial Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him immortal. But to seal the bargain, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him.
You're lying. She was furious. You can't prove that.
I can. And so, we set sail for the Nexus. The scientists at the observatory have resurrected one of his victims. Well, he's not exactly alive, but it can talk, and it can't lie. You took a big risk. You know, I could just cast a spell to make you tell me where the rebel base is, and you wouldn't consider that cheating? She frowned. Fine. Let's go get your witness. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
He felt like Tarzan. Renato really hated inanimate objects. Now you're foxed. She caught up with him. Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you want to join in? Oh, no, I destroy his books and... All right, I suppose I wouldn't. She stopped, troubled. He ran on. This is quite the
view, he thought. The scientists on this island had been investigating the Emperor's dark ritual on their own. They were neutral in the civil war engulfing the Empire, but they could see that the dark magics the old Toad had loosed were changing the world. Renato hoped he and Zenobia weren't putting them in danger. I need more materials, thought Renato. Energy spheres. Easy to dodge, but boy do they sting if you didn't pay attention. Boy, some people are just liable to explode if you upset them. I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Renato. The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared around, shocked. The scientists had been neutral. They had no part in the rebellion. Take me to your council, she said, shaken. I have things to tell them. It was what Renato had gambled on. The Zenobia would turn against her father once she knew his madness. But the rebel base was secret. Could he really risk taking the Emperor's daughter there? Reynardo reached Lapino by Farspeaker Toad.
No. We should take her to the base.
Insisted Lapino. No, I don't trust her. Nobody changes size that fast, said Reynardo.
I better go to the base. Let them know you've got her.
Lapino said.
For some reason, Reynardo wasn't sure that was a good idea.
Just meet me at the far side of the mountains. There's a shuttle here I can take,
Always has to be your way, doesn't it?
said Lapino. Zenobia was still shaking as they got out. I didn't know, she said. The Ravens kept it secret. At first they sacrificed prisoners, then villages near the frontier, and then an orphanage. Kittens and puppies. Sometimes he'd come back to the palace and it was like there were glowing things behind his eyes. I was so busy. I'll clear a path for us, Reynardo told Zenobia, so the Ravens don't see you. What else could you hook?
So much for better loot.
This thing really needed a roof.
Zenobia came up as he massaged his sore arm. Her eyes were wet. He's been saying strange things. He asked me to do experiments. Some were wrong. They are banished, right? Said Reynardo. Gone forever. I mean, he couldn't actually bring the old gods back, could he? She didn't answer him. That frightened him more than anything.
Renato went to the china shop. For some reason, the owner was always nervous. A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs. Renato wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicion.
Try attack immediately when the previous attack hits to landing for strike. Why not?
They came up with an empty shack. He gestured her in. "Where's the base?" she asked, confused. "I thought we could talk a bit first." "Oh, you think I'm playing you?" She was furious. "I'm betraying my father who picked me out of an alley, and you think I'm playing you?" She lashed out. Her claws sliced fire into his face. Energy boiled in her other paw. But before she could kill him, he slashed his sword into her heart. She staggered. "I could have loved you, you son of a bitch." And then she died. Renato stood there for hours, unable to move. Finally, a ship landed near him. Pino had brought the Farfarer. On board the Farfarer, Pino couldn't stop grinning. "I can't believe you actually killed her." "Why didn't I trust her?" Renato said. All he could feel was emptiness. "You killed the Emperor's daughter." "You might want to run for it, if you care whether you live or die, that is." Since Renato didn't, he grabbed the wheel, and he sailed for the Imperial fleet.
Renato had never felt worth. Zenobia had listened to him. She trusted him. She'd opened her eyes to her father's evil. Done everything he had hoped for. He had taken her to a dirty shack. Was he so used to lying that he couldn't trust even the girl he had always loved?
This sword from the frigid north was really useful for making popsicles and birdicles.
Should come in handy. Been here before.
The portal was heavily guarded. She must go someplace they really didn't want her to go.
Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword? Once you try it, you're hooked. Hey, I'm a firefox, thought Renato. Said Renato, but he couldn't hear his enemy's answer.
He could see the rebels reeling back as he plunged into the ranks of the Ravens. He'd had to kill the girl he loved, but he'd also blown the biggest opportunity they could have had to turn the Emperor's daughter against him. He could only laugh miserably. He was taking crazy chances now, swinging wildly. He expected the Ravens to take him at any moment, but they were running in fear. No one wants to fight a man who doesn't care if he lives. No one wants to fight a hero.
Nothing. Alrighty.
There was an inscription. No speak. Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there? He was exhausted. Could barely think. He wanted to stop thinking. The rebels were already finished, and he was the last. The Ravens were coming for him personally now, in waves. It didn't matter. He was slick with his own blood, but it didn't matter. In the distance, he could see her, embraced by a halo of light, holding her hand out to him. Had she forgiven him? Would she take him to the halls of the Valiant? Then he felt steel in his belly, and his chest, and his back. And he lay down, and he couldn't see her anymore. Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learn another true thing. Zenobia still had feelings for him. But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynardo. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens? Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? Ooh, Reynardo loved to improve his gear. Shy. That was odd. Reynardo had been here, at this exact place, at this exact time. But this time, there were so many more ravens. The village looked so peaceful. Were the villagers hiding somewhere? Of course not. No matter how much he searched, he would only find ravens here. armor. Oh dear, that wasn't good. Ooh, sparkly, thought Renato. Renato wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Yeah. I'll definitely take that left hand place.
Well, he always wanted to do that.
Kill the fox!
Caught the ravens. Nobody said they were original. Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast.
Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Well, unless he really was a traitor, obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest. There had to be something useful in these things, didn't there?
I think.
Ready to become faster, stronger, bolder. If only he could figure out which. Lapino would betray him. But now Renato knew that. What would Lapino do if he knew that Lapino was going to betray him? Well, he'd concoct some crazy scheme, wouldn't he? That used Lapino's betrayal against him and it would blow up in his face. Yeah. Maybe he was overthinking this. Well, that would be a first. The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted. Gem of power. Ooh, he didn't find those every day. Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck.
Oh, I thought you were in danger.
I am!
We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Sky Ripper.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course.
Trying to get all the
She'd been Renato's best
secret
friend in sword fu school. And you're still mad for her. The rabbit reminded him. The rabbit had a point. And Renato had a feeling she'd want to... The city was already under Zenobia's control. They had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. This chest was really horrible. Get it? The city was burning, and there was no one to put out the fires. If somehow Zenobia survived her father and inherited his crown, what sort of empire would she be heir to? But he couldn't think about that, could he? Hero wall, hero sword, firewall, fire extinguisher. Renato remembered when he'd first stolen one of these. Good times.
was Lupino urging him to capture Zenobia? Obviously it was a trap. But you never knew how Lupino thought. Sometimes his plans were so convoluted they did the exact opposite to what Lupino wanted. Yeah, there must be some way to play on that, Bernardo thought.
Really?
What's behind door number 2? Give me a lever, said Archimedes, and I shall open the gate.
Whoa. Yeah, those Sims don't play around, man.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, and then setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renardo. Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lupino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan. Hey! Hey, a workbench! He could try out his new bling.
I like that. Critical transfer too.
Renardo smash!
Birds!
Critical chance level 2.
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, she'd vanished from Swordfu School. From his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Renato was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him? Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Oh, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her. Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase. If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger. Well, no sense collecting more materials. It was time to make something pointy. Don't look down, he told himself. Don't look down. Magical jewel. Renato couldn't wait to find a workbench.
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his. People had laughed at the government workbench placement program. But you could see the benefits everywhere.
Really?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Renato reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. I'm enjoying this a little too much. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lupino nagged Renato about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her? As they reached the ruins, Renato could see ravens everywhere, searching for the rebel base. They'd have to hide the Farfarer or go on foot. What if we get separated? Asked Lupino, for once thinking ahead. I'll show you a map to the base. Renato told Lupino. Renato, don't do this, said Zenobia. We were friends once. We... Shut it, witch, or I'll shackle your mouth too, said Lupino. See? Renato thought. There was no way Lupino was working for the Empire. He really hated Zenobia. And then, a few moments later, they touched down. As Lupino pulled Zenobia off the Farfarer, Renato readied himself for the battle ahead. I'm sorry I nicked your jacket, she said. It's just... Oh, God. It's stupid, but... It smelled like you. What? He said, confused. Then... Why didn't you write? Why didn't you far speak? Oh, save the romantic nostalgia. Let's go! Shrieked Lupino. So Renato launched himself down the path to the secret base.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway. He wasn't that good. Yet. He hadn't noticed that path before. Renata felt ready to take on new powers. It was a bit windy up here.
Oh, shoot.
This stone was incredibly valuable. Bernardo could sense it. Also, it still had its price tag. They caught their breath. It's beautiful, she said, looking at the ruins. This used to be the library of Ubar, he said, before your father's ravens smashed it. Do we have to talk politics? She asked. That's not how I want to remember you, she said with an odd, wistful look at her face. She was as beautiful as she'd ever been, and as brave. Lapino huffed. They got back on the trail. Hey, why don't you guys fight in groups? Oh, I know. Because there's no I in team.
Dangerous.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. If only he had some way to break the ice. Or convince it he was a friend.
My first death. Bummer, dude. Alright.
Don't go away.
Oh man, this is gonna be hard. Okay. I can get it this time. Damn, dude.
To everything.
Keep forgetting those guys
was a season.
explode. Whoops.
Turned over and died.
Part two.
was time for a little exploration.
Yes, it was. And not a thing. It's a little more like it.
The rock felt hot in his hand.
And kill. Nice.
He could feel its secret power.
That will come in handy.
As they made their way to the secret rebel base, Renato felt strange. Zenobia was his prisoner, yet somehow she felt more like an old friend. He wanted to tell her all his secrets, but suddenly the ruins lit up with thousands of fireworks. There was a thunderous roar and dust rose. The caves were collapsing.
The caves!
You've been playing me, Renato said, and he stared at Zenobia. I'm sorry, she said, and she seemed almost embarrassed. Then everything went dark. When Renato came to, he had a terrible headache. Also, Zenobia's sword was at his throat. And her shackles were gone. So was Lapino. The terrible thing is, he said, I really have missed you. Now that we've destroyed the rebellion, would you consider becoming an advisor to the Emperor's daughter? I'm no one's servant. Everybody serves. Even if it's only destiny. I like to choose my own destinies, he said. The whole point of a destiny is you can't choose. Never mind, she said. Look, if I see you again, I'll have to kill you. He watched her ship soar away. He would see her again, he decided. Even if he had to fight his way across the entire fleet. The Imperial fleet was cleaning up the few rebel remnants. For only a moment, he thought about running. But heroes don't run, even when the world is against them. Even when their cause is hopeless, and their efforts futile, and pointless, and useless, and death painful and guaranteed. He's decided to stop thinking for a while. Maybe I should follow my nose, thought Renato.
Alright, skills. Let me see.
His sword school teacher used to say power gems were cheating. Stupid fart.
Renado's arm was sore, his armor wet with raven blood. He was tired of death. But death was not yet tired of him. The rebels were losing. Badly. In some other universe, Renado thought, he and Zenobia had left sword fu school together, taken other names and sailed off into the mists. Not this Zenobia, and not him. For him, there was nothing to do but forge ahead. Kill the Emperor and end this. The platform used a hybrid propulsion system fueled by anti-gravity and wishful thinking.
Damn, dude.
Don't look down, he thought.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Alright, time to fight.
At last, he reached the Emperor's ship. Zenobia. Why'd you have to come back? She said, guess I'm just serving my destiny. He shrugged. You don't even know what that word means, she said. Do you ever wonder if things have been different? All the time, she said, and drew her sword. In the end, Renado lay bleeding out on the deck. Zenobia sat by his side, upset. What are you so upset about? He asked. You wouldn't understand. Why didn't you tell me you were going to leave school? I was afraid you'd convince me not to. I guess I'll have to buy you a drink in the halls of the Valiant then, he told her. And then he was gone. And just like that, he was alive again. And back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, and he hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.
But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the Path of Destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renardo. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Alright. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Unwanted Camper, for stopping by. I will be jamming on this again here in a little bit. I'm going to take a small break. Get some foods. And take a breather. And then I will be jumping back on here probably in the next hour. So I'll see you then if you catch this. Take it easy, people.